public comment. No public comment? Need your packet? I think that's it. Okay, I have no chair's report for this meeting. Meeting minutes, have anybody ever had a chance to review the minutes? Any corrections? Take a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Monthly invoices. Who's going to take care of that this month? Let's see. What we have in front of us, we have Jocelyn Lesser, NV5, for their monthly billing of $52,500. We have Showman Design and Construction for their monthly billing of $1,243,697.05. 5 cents must be Phil's.
5 cents every month, 30 months.
Adds up.
Tappay Associates for $57,437.50. Additionally, we have various vendors for the technology. This is our technology budget item that basically it's a set line that we draw down off of. This month we have 2 vendors, Wally Computer Associates and Pro AV Systems, for a total amount of $478,223. Which is different from what's in the packet, because
We received a credit this afternoon, so...
so it's lower than it's in your packet.
Make sure it's up to date.
And from our testing service, UTS, in the amount of $150. And I think this is the last one. Yes. Again, this is various vendors for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. We have 4 vendors, including Verco for furniture, school furniture. WB Mason delivered pottery wheels, and Life Fitness delivered weights. That together totals $165,058.80. I don't know what this one is, Tim. See the packet, but it seems to be attached to anything.
That's the total line for testing.
Oh, okay.
The testing category.
It should have been attached to the testing. Okay. So I will take a motion to approve, please.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Okay, monthly approvals and commitment change order number 16. This is, did I handle this for me, Phil?
Yes. Unless it's in here.
The cover sheets are in the back.
All right, so last month, for the month of July, we approved board approved authorization for $70,140 worth of change orders. This change order number 16 reflects all those items that were approved. So this includes the athletic field resizing. This is turning the 1 practice field into a playing field, so you'll have 2 playing fields for football as well as other sports, including field hockey and soccer. The second one is CR 091. This was the owner-requested marker board and tackboard changes. This was after the teachers started to move into the spaces and familiarize themselves with their classrooms. They identified some needs related to additional marker boards as well as tack boards. So this change order was to purchase those items. Stair number 2, the open riser infill panel. If you recall, we took a walk down and looked at that stair. CRO 96, the attic glass at the AD's office. This was adding a secondary pane of glass on the gymnasium side of the AD's office to help with sound mitigation. CRO 97, $15,419. This was similar to the marker board tack boards. As staff began to occupy their spaces, they were identifying some locations or some needs for additional casework, mostly shelving. This change order reflects the purchase of those items. CRO 98 for the attic wall clocks, $4,240. There were 6 locations in the building that did not have wall clocks tied into the global system here in the building because they weren't classified such in the documentation. So this was adding 6 wall clocks to those locations. This was, I believe, the Fab Lab, the art room, some of the virtual spaces. And then the last one, CR 100, is for added signage at various locations. This was security signage at every egress, warning people to not open the door or prop the door. Also telling visitors to go to the main office. There is a vinyl lettering going in the gymnasium. So there was a handful of signage requests that were made by the owner, as well as one made by the fire department for some additional signage. So that's it.
Any questions? The total was $70,140, correct? Correct. No questions? All right, I'll take a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Moving right along. Okay, as we discussed in previous meetings, there's a change order request before us for police repeater paving at TCP, which I think we're not going to be discussing, right? That solved itself.
Yes.
So we can take that off the list.
Was that the, sorry, Mr. Chairman, that was what we had removed months ago, or is that?
What it was is that,
Yes,
we didn't know where the limit of the line was going to be. The original design, there was just we discussed the possibility of needing to pave right up to the building because of drainage issues. Apparently they've already done the removal, the drainage issues don't seem to be there. Their recommendation is to just leave it alone. And at the construction meeting, we agreed that if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Thank you.
So the two tonight, we're going to talk about the police repeater and the additional railing in the auditorium. So as you know, we asked the chief to be here. As you know, the code required that we had a repeater system for the fire department. There was an assumption that the system would be okay for the police department because we had no difficulties at the other location. In further inspection, there were some areas where communication was more difficult. And a request was made for us to put in a repeater system for the police. As you know, the two systems operate at different frequencies, so you can't piggyback one with another. There's no way to there's no other alternative to funding it at this point. We couldn't identify another funding source. So we're looking for a change order to do that. I wanted to give the chief an opportunity to address it if you wish to.
And there's not much more I can say than what's already been said about it. It's, it was an issue that we brought up quite a few months ago. We suggested that, there might be a police repeater added. As you said, the fire repeater is was installed because of code. Unfortunately, the code doesn't include police departments, and I'm not going to go into the political reasons why that code was enacted. But at any rate, the fact is that our communications within a structure like this becomes diminished because of the materials that are used to build the building. We did have similar problems in the other school. Obviously, it was an old school. We're going to address that. Try to work around that. We just thought it was a brand new school. Maybe we could get a repeater added so that, it takes away any issues with communications. But today, we look at this from officer safety, public safety standpoint. Oftentimes, when you can't use a portable radio, you can't use a cell phone either. Of course, portable radios are much more important to us because the communication is instant, whereas telephones you have to dial them. And under stressful situations, that becomes a problem. Or in critical incidents, it could become a problem. So, hence the reason that we're asking to add that. I wish I'd have kept my eye on the ball earlier. I just assumed that was going to happen. That was a poor assumption on my part. Because it was brought up at a meeting quite a while ago by the fire chief. So, if it can be done, it can be done. I don't know how to work around it. I'd like to say, if you can't do it, oh well, but I don't. I looked at some funding, or I looked for some funding sources. There is none at this time.
Right.
Retrofitted, I thought too, would be a lot more money. But I understand that cabling right now isn't an issue, am I right?
Correct. They're able to reuse the existing cable. They just need to bring in additional equipment that would repeat your signal over that cable.
Right.
So we don't have to open the ceilings up significantly.
Mhm. So, really, there's really not much more I can add.
Okay. Appreciate your time. So the numbers that we have now, Phil, before us?
So the 38.9 is for the system being installed off hours, because the equipment's going to take 3 to 8 weeks to get, which will put us well into the school year. If we are able to install it during normal hours, and I know the principals had expressed on previous change orders the ability to work with us on that, we could save roughly $4,000. The total cost would be $34,437.
So if we're assuming Mr. Sampson, can we assume on hour?
Yes,
Installation?
we'll work around the
Okay.
installation. We'll work
So the actual number then would be $34,437. I'm fully in support of this. I think that it adds not only the safety of the officers doing their jobs to the students, obviously, and I would take a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that.
Discussion, so we don't want to put a maximum just in case there's any issues, or is that...
Well, I think that we've
I support it as well. I just want to make sure we don't have to come back and re-vote on it if it goes over that amount.
No, I think that is the amount that we're going to hold them to.
Okay.
And that is during the day installation, we'll work around it.
Mr. Chairman, can I just make a comment?
Absolutely.
With respect to the price, it seems extremely absorbent to me, that price. I know we just have done numerous improvements on our radio infrastructure, which included putting up towers and repeaters and receivers in a couple different locations, and I don't ever recall spending that kind of money. And this is for both police and fire, not just police. And so I just I'm wondering why it's so expensive.
We did receive confirmation from TAP-A that they reviewed it with their electrical consultant and found the price to be within their expectations for this work. That's all I could offer. I don't know. I have not installed a similar system elsewhere. You are paying prevailing wage because you're using state funding for the work. If you're funding it locally, you could not pay prevailing wage, which would bring the cost down slightly. The equipment cost alone was the equipment cost alone was $17,308 of that $34,000. So even the labor, if you were able to not install it with prevailing wage, the equipment cost itself is over half the amount of the change order.
Okay, is there any other questions? All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much. Wish I could help, I'm sorry.
Thanks for looking at the budget
Yeah.
and what was up. We appreciate that.
You know, I have some capital money for a generator for one of our sites, which we're having a great deal of problems trying to install because it requires drilling through one of the water tanks, and the water department's not real thrilled about that. Not with the water tank. But I mean, if it becomes a hardship or something, I don't know if we could, petition whoever to maybe move some of that money.
We got it covered.
You got it covered? I just feel
It's
bad.
important. It's important.
Well, it is important.
Yeah.
It's a, I hope nothing ever happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Take care, Chief. The railing in the auditorium, we had this discussion last week, a couple of members had the opportunity to take a look at it. I know that we got a memo today from Jen Littlefield on this, or at least I did. Basically, this is the condition is not strictly a code condition per se, but the operation of it could be a trip hazard, and it is recommended by the consultant to install the railing. The height of the railing will not obstruct view. It will actually make the area more functional. And frankly, the code officer has requested it, and the code officer is the authority having jurisdiction. So I support this particular change order. And I forgot, Phil, could you remind me of the...
So last month, we held an order of magnitude cost $8,500.
And where are we now?
Is $3,632.
Well, don't estimate my jobs anymore.
I was being cautious.
I know. It's under promise and over deliver.
I actually have a pretty good hit ratio. That one wasn't one.
So I take a motion to approve this item.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. Construction progress update.
Did you ever talk about planting?
Oh, yes, I did. This is an item that I just got some information on. Last time we also talked about the plantings. A butter on Oak Avenue who was interested in us doing something. I think the butter was looking for a fence, which we were really not in a position to provide at this point. There was a planting plan that was presented at the last meeting. We thought that the number was not something we were interested in pursuing. We asked them to go back, take another look, see if they could come up with a less costly alternative. And what we have here now is still 15 plants, but they're now reduced to 4-foot green giant trees, green giant arborvitaes. Rather than, new mixed loam, it'll be planted right there in virgin soil, no lawn, no grading. It assumes a 10-foot center-to-center spacing over 150 linear feet for a cost of $6,415. Before I even take a motion on this, I'd just like to open it up for discussion in the group, because I really want to know your thinking on this. We're attempting to provide something to the abutter as a gesture of goodwill.
Which one? Which one?
If you're standing in the parking lot looking out at Oak Street, you have the abutter with the fence, and then you have the abutter that doesn't have the fence.
Okay. I was wondering about that.
Thoughts?
How come one abutter has a fence and the other one does not?
One requested it. We're at the very, very beginning of the project, even before we designed it.
And the
well,
other
that guy
one, the
just
house
bought.
sold
He just bought.
within like the last year. or
He
so.
bought the house last, I don't know, summer or something like that.
Yeah.
And
So he wasn't living there.
Okay, so the
And-
project was well underway.
it was well underway, and he came to a discussion with Rob, right, and said, hey, do I get a fence? And we said, well, we'll get back to you. And so,
Did the original owner make any requests?
the original owner came to us even before the project was designed.
But the home-
No, the original owner of
Oh,
that
oh, that house. Oh, no, no, no,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Sorry,
problem
yeah.
when they building
No,
started?
the original owner did not come to us. I don't even know if the original owner showed up at any of our abutters meetings.
I think he might have been pretty long in years.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's just one comment, is that you're also putting a school zone warning light in the right of way, very close to the building.
Right in front of that nice new stonework he did.
No, we didn't put it in front of the stonework, we moved it to the side, but it's probably 15, 20 feet away from the stonework.
So, to be honest with you, we haven't had any further discussions with the owner, the abutter. We don't know whether this is an acceptable solution, but this is the solution that we may be willing to offer. I don't know that there is another solution that we're willing to entertain.
Fence was too much money?
I'm sorry?
The fence was too much money, or we didn't want to do it, or just aesthetic?
Well, there's two things. It would be substantially more money. Order of magnitude, Phil would be...
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. You were good at the last one.
Give us the number, we'll cut it in.
150 linear feet.
Probably $30,000.
Right.
So is the cost and also the maintenance aspect of it.
Because it also sits under a lot of trees, old trees.
Is this the drop dead date for that, or is there time?
No, the planting, we wouldn't do planting again until October, right?
Earliest. So I think the intention was to gauge whether or not this was or whether you were willing to offer this, and then further discussion.
Correct.
Homeowner before you even offer it.
Correct. So I'm not looking for an approval to go forward with this right now. I'm looking for proof. In other words, we're not saying, yeah, here's $6,000 to go do it. I'm saying that the money sounds appropriate to what we're going to do, and we can begin a discussion with the homeowner.
Mr. Mackey,
when the landscape architect was out here, I guess this planting of trees under other trees, I was trying to figure out, and he says that eventually they'll be compromised by the trees that are there as well. So this solution is one recommended by the landscape architect, that there will be ongoing interaction between all the trees that are over there, as the older ones, will eventually need to be trimmed up to let light come through for these to be able to continue to grow. I shouldn't venture into this area too far, but just in talking to Mr. Warner about, is this a viable solution? And he said, yeah, it does, but you're going to have to pay attention. Everybody's going to have to pay attention to make this work as the trees get larger. So this proposal actually puts shorter trees in, so we have more time to monitor that situation. So it take longer to grow height.
The school department is going to be maintaining the fence? that
Yes.
you're buying, yeah.
It's on our property.
Okay.
As will be the shrub, the tree.
Right, yeah.
As will be the shrubs, correct.
But they'll be impacted by the trees on the
There's-
other.
Besides the mature trees on his property, we now have planted all those trees on our property as well along that.
What's he concerned, is he concerned with just, is he concerned with lighting?
Just a visual barrier, I assume. I've not spoken with him directly.
I mean, the conditions are quite different. The butter who got the fence is right on the parking lot, right adjacent to the building. This butter has a green lawn in front of them.
I actually think
And
it's pretty nice.
It's not
It is
bad
nice.
over there. I mean, if you look at them, they don't look, they don't look like the same.
You're right.
No, I mean, the backyard of the one with the fence looks out,
There's a
Like on
walking
the back
path
of
along
the-
the other one,
like where the cafeteria delivers would be and stuff like that. I
And this
mean,
butter has a big lawn in front of it.
yeah.
Not bad, and a lot of mature trees.
Yeah, it is a different
Different
situation.
problem.
Does the homeowner know that the signs are,
Yes.
okay. Didn't know if that was,
Do we have the ability to table this until the next, I'm a landscaper by trade, I'd like to see it first, and if he
What
has
are
the
those
ability
again?
to plant his own trees at a much, if he has the room to put them on his own property, it's kind of buyer beware at this point. The project was well underway, just to appease the visual. I could see if there was...
Property.
Again, this is why I'm bringing this to the committee.
It wasn't like there was a grass field there. Obviously, the building...
Construction fence has been up there for what, two and a half?
Right.
Just
yeah,
recently
I mean,
came down, yeah.
right. And the project was, it was definitely last summer when that house sold.
Yeah. I mean,
So
we could
the
look at it.
project was a bit, yeah, so it,
Yeah.
I don't know. But on the other hand, $6,000 for goodwill.
And in light of the sign going in, I
Yeah.
think it's worth having a conversation with the abutter in terms of this is kind of what we're proposing at this point in time, and see what kind of reaction we have. My perspective.
You got any others that are going to pop out of the woodwork?
Well,
See, that's what I was
exactly.
I
wondering,
can
is there
take one of
anything
them,
else
on the opposite corner of the site.
They've had, those people have had years to address it. And obviously,
Right.
now that they're seeing the building being built, the construction being done, obviously they're going to visualize it more now. But
Without taking a vote, I'm getting the sense of the body that they're not interested. Is that?
Yeah, I probably would not be able to support it unless it was some sort of safety reason or something of that nature.
$6,400 for a bit of goodwill with a butter doesn't bother me. I could support that.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion?
There's already a motion on the table.
No, actually, I didn't take a motion. Before I took the motion, I was trying to get a sense of the...
I thought we did get a motion and then we'll move to discussion.
Okay.
In the motion,
My
it's
third
just
review.
that, it's just revisit discussion with the abutter, or is it?
The motion is to offer the abutter these trees.
Okay.
At a cost of approximately $6,400.
Correct.
They will be not to exceed, right?
Correct. All right, we're ready for a vote then? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
No. So we'll have a discussion. Then we'll come back.
And I'll look at it and if I may reconsider, but
Okay.
I just haven't done the research.
Well, that was for discussion of the Plumwood thing. I'm confused.
That was for discussion with the abutter.
Sorry, I thought it was...
We may not need it if the,
He may say, no, it's not good
Oh, I
enough.
see, but discussion, but if he says yes, then
He
we do
says,
it.
yeah, right. I mean,
Right, he says yes, then
You
we're
can't
gonna
force, you
do it.
can't.
Right, we can't.
I didn't want to say no to the discussion, I'm saying, no, I don't think we should discuss that.
okay. All right, thanks. Public comment.
Actually, I think, were you going to give a quick?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Okay.
construction update. Sorry.
Let me get my cheat sheet out here.
I'm like,
All right, so the air conditioning in the school is scheduled to be turned on tomorrow, the added air conditioning. So if all goes well, hopefully it'll be up and running full force by Friday.
Good day for it.
Nothing like going into the weekend, start something new. We are anticipating to have the entire existing high school down and removed by the end of next week. So you'll get that straight line of sight from Mass Ave. The new drive aisle and parking out from Oak Ave to Mass Ave, we're hoping, the intention is to pave it later next week and have it open by 8/26, if not sooner.
That will be the full from here to there?
It'll be
Everything will be
all the way
open?
through.
Okay.
We have formed up the Greenhouse Foundation. Weather permitting, we're going to pour it Friday. And the greenhouse is scheduled to be delivered on the 22nd of August. That's really it for big picture of what's happening right
Yeah.
now.
The rest is, continuing work on punch list items and following up on some technical issues, working out some issues around the automated lighting system that we're still debugging, basically. As you can see around us, the technology is starting to arrive.
Oh, I know, that's so exciting.
And that's being put in place. I pointed this out to others. I don't know if everybody saw this. This is as part of the design of the building, and there's a LED measure. We have these teachable screens that will tell you how energy efficient the building is being at any one moment. It has things for the electricity consumption, gas consumption, the boiler BTUs, has something on comfort. Every now and again it'll pop up with the outdoor temperature, and it's something that can be a real teachable moment as students use the space. One is in each of there's one in the high school collaborative space as well.
And the Whale Lake mural is going in.
Oh, yeah, before we leave, if you want to take a look, the whale mural is up. I have to tell you, it looks fantastic. And the work that the students added was just wonderful.
They did a great job. Can we go into the media center and look at the old?
Yeah, or up to the second floor.
Second floor, that's good.
Yeah.
Second floor, that would be the better place. I think the media center is blocked right now, but I'm sure somebody's got a key.
Well, I thought I'd go right to the top.
Mr. Londa has.
She had to see because John
I was going to say it, but I bit my lip. We're looking forward to this first day of school. By the time we get together again, discipline will be operational.
When is the first day?
The 31st.
Do you know the date of our next meeting?
It would be,
Sure. It's later in the month.
Yeah, we had to move it out
There
because
were
of
all
scheduling
different
reasons.
days.
Wait a minute. Anything coming up with demo? Any old crap moments, or we find anything?
No, I haven't found anything.
Asbestos is on track?
Asbestos is on track. Actually, the asbestos contractor's indicated that he's below track, so that's good.
And he's out of the next week? I mean, if we're gonna have it down.
He's done his bulk abatement. He has some handwork to do around the building foundation with some flashing, but he's done. 90% done. Not 90% built, but 90% done.
And we haven't found any, utility...
No hidden rooms or...
Yeah.
Bomb shelters.
Bomb shelters. There is a bomb shelter.
They took that down.
No, it's actually gone as well as it could. Even the tear down itself has been pretty efficient operation. We hit it the way we want it. We got the area prepped for the greenhouse.
Yep.
So we're couldn't have gone any better. I guess is the best way of putting it.
So, I actually don't have it in my calendar.
I have it on the 14th.
14.
That would be the normal date, right?
But it's later in the month than like it's...
Oh, I see what you're saying. It will be the 14th, so they have it.
Thank you.
Do we have a tentative date for a dedication ceremony?
We do.
We do, indeed. The October 22nd, which is homecoming, and it will be much like the timing that we did around the groundbreaking, where homecoming parade begins at noon. At 1 o'clock, the ribbon cutting and dedication, followed by a reception. And we're inviting all of you, as well as all of our other honored guests, to be part of our homecoming parade, because this is going to be quite a homecoming to, a new school, tied to the tradition of the old school, hence the homecoming, and great celebration of the dedication. We've had great response to all the tours. It's really fun to show the community, and they've been so appreciative of the work that all the school building committee has done, as well as all our consultants, in terms of they're just amazed by the building and so excited, which I think we've expressed time and time again, and will continue to express how excited we are as teachers and our students, and we've already started to make such good use of this facility, and excited to all the new opportunities that we have.
And Sean's providing float, apparently.
Made out of the old school.
That would be kind of fun.
Pretty cool.
You're on the hook now.
That scrap doesn't stay out there.
I was going to say, it's announced.
We fight Jeff Al for it.
And if you don't want to be on a float, just, or in a car, just come watch the parade, because that's always fun in its own right as well.
So I have to provide my own cool car?
No, the high school principal has said, just let us know if people want to participate, they'll make arrangements.
Okay. Anything else?
I can't guarantee you a cool car.
I've never had a cool car. Right, Lexi said you were going to get me a
All right. I'll take that.
Actually, Mr. Chair, I do
Sure.
have 2 public comments.
Absolutely.
My concern is that, or do we have the ability to set funds aside, so in case somebody throws a rock through the site digital sign that wouldn't be covered under the warranty, or...
That would be covered by our insurance.
We do have insurance that
Right.
covers that?
Yeah.
Okay, so for breakage
Yeah.
outside of the warranty, okay, I just wanted to make sure that, because I know sometimes you get lemon equipment.
Yep.
I mean, it's nothing to do with the velvets, but it's just occasionally you get a lemon piece of equipment. And then also, there's, on the warrant for the town meeting, there's the solar panels, and the Board of Selectmen had discussed that they wanted to have discussions about the aesthetics of it, would those take place here or through the school committee? And
The
then-
school committee's already had discussions around
Yeah,
that.
the school committee has provided feedback on the
Okay.
aesthetics of it in terms of the design. In fact, they reserved that right solely in regard to that.
Okay.
So, Mr. London, we don't have the drawings here, but maybe you could just explain
Yeah,
what the designs were.
So the design that has been proposed is to use the two areas that were provided in the initial design, which are the two shingled south-facing roofs on Building A and Building D, as well as flat portions of Buildings C and D. So, visually, what's up on C and D pretty much won't be too visible. Clearly, anything on A or D will be visible, but, those are long stretches of roof without any penetration, so it should just be rows of solar panels, and should appear,
And they're pitched with the roof?
Yeah, they're pitched with the roof.
Did you have renderings that would show that?
I have,
Can
we
we use
have
some of the
the
engineering from here?
design documents that shows that. I
Okay.
have something from the solar developer that shows pictures of it. They're just, schematic design, but
Right,
we have
I'm
that.
in favor of it, I just...
the only part that I had any concerns was there was 31 panels that were proposed for the valley of the D building, and the developer has already, made arrangements to move those out of there, so they won't be doing that part of it.
Okay, it's just, people usually can't visualize. You can tell them it all day long, but unless they see it, they're not going to visualize it.
So, I mean, it'll look like any other solar panel on a pitch roof that
Okay.
you might find in a residence, but, the one thing, I guess, from my perspective, is it's not going to be where there'll be a hodgepodge of panels. It'll be just a very uniform appearance of panels, and which I think is, it's only very acceptable in my mind, because it's not, it only detracts from the school's appearance, and I certainly think it, shows Lunenburg's, commitment to providing, renewable energy for its buildings.
All right, great, thank you.
What's the output that they're looking at? How much?
It's a 363 kilowatt system, would generate, it's in excess of 450,000 kilowatt hours, so maybe around 40 to 45% of the building's needs. Also, on the same special town meeting is also a net metering agreement, which is another 700,000 kilowatt hours. So there's a couple of things, two different things going on there. One that's on a commercial building in Fitchburg, and then this one that would be on this building and the Department of Public Works garage.
That's right.
Any other business? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
All right.
Thank you all.